When Lucas found that house for rent, it seemed like the perfect fresh start. Newly arrived in town for a new job, he was eager to build a peaceful life. The place was spacious, with a bright living room, large windows, and a cozy backyard. The price seemed almost too good to be true, but he didn't question his luck. During the key handover, the landlord, a serious man with a tired look, handed him a yellowed envelope with a piece of paper inside. "Read these rules carefully and follow them to the letter. I don't want to get calls in the middle of the night, understood?" Lucas chuckled, thinking it was some kind of joke. But when he opened the envelope, he found clear instructions. Close all windows before 10 p.m. Never turn on the living room light after midnight. Under no circumstances, enter the basement. The rules were odd, but Lucas decided not to question them. He just wanted peace. On the first night, he followed everything. He closed the windows before 10 p.m., locked the basement door without even peeking inside, and went to bed early. But the house seemed to have a life of its own. The outside sounds were muffled, as if something wanted to isolate him from the world. At 3 a.m., he woke up to a low noise, like scratching coming from downstairs. He grabbed his phone and checked the cameras he had installed in the living room. Nothing seemed out of place. It was only the first night, but he already felt the unsettling sensation of being watched. In the days that followed, Lucas began to notice strange things. One morning, as he went downstairs for coffee, he found one of the living room windows open. He was certain he had closed it the night before. He tried to ignore it, but the repetition of the event began to disturb him. Each night felt more unsettling, and Lucas's dreams became vivid and disturbing. He dreamt of shadows moving through the house, whispers in a language he didn't understand, and in one particularly terrifying night, he dreamt he was trapped in the basement. You want to know where this story is going, don't you? Then before we continue, if you want to help our channel keep bringing amazing stories, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed it, turn on notifications to find out when new videos are posted. The sense of isolation in the house only grew stronger. The nights were marked by a silence so profound it felt unnatural. One evening, while watching a movie, Lucas felt an inexplicable chill. He looked towards the corner of the living room and saw something that made him freeze. A small dark spot, almost imperceptible, seemed to move slowly along the wall. When he blinked, the spot was gone. He turned off the TV and went to his bedroom, locking the door. The next day, Lucas decided to explore the neighborhood to try to understand more about the house. He went to speak to the neighbor across the street, a friendly man named Mr. Alfred. "Does this house have any interesting history?" he asked, trying to sound casual. Alfred frowned and looked away. "Did they give you the rules? Just follow them. Don't break the cycle." That response left Lucas even more suspicious, but Alfred quickly entered his house, shutting the door. That night, something strange happened. While Lucas was closing the windows at 9:55 p.m., he noticed a figure standing on the sidewalk under a street lamp. The figure appeared male, but it was hard to tell since the street light didn't illuminate the face. He felt a chill and quickly closed the curtains. He tried to ignore it, but when he peeked again, the figure was gone. From that night on, he began to hear small noises throughout the house. Knocking sounds, faint footsteps, and most disturbingly, a constant scratching coming from the basement. Determined not to succumb to fear, Lucas decided to investigate for himself. He grabbed a flashlight and went to the basement door. He knew he was breaking the rules, but his curiosity was stronger. He turned the knob, feeling his heart pound. As he opened the door, a rush of cold air escaped from within. The flashlight illuminated walls covered with handprints, as if someone had desperately clawed at the concrete. In the farthest corner, he saw something that made his stomach churn: an old wooden chair with rusted chains around it. Lucas ran upstairs, locked the door, and shoved a piece of furniture against it. He stayed awake all night, but the real terror began at dawn. He found a new note stuck to the basement door: "You shouldn't have done that." In the days that followed, the house became unbearable. Lucas heard footsteps downstairs, even when he knew he was alone. Objects moved on their own, and the lights flickered inexplicably. He began avoiding the living room at night, but that didn't stop the nightmares. One night, he dreamt he was trapped in the basement again, but this time there was a hooded figure beside him, whispering, "Why won't you leave us alone?" Determined to leave the house, Lucas started packing. However, every time he tried to leave, something stopped him. His car wouldn't start, and every time he ordered a taxi, the ride was canceled. One night, as he packed his bags, he heard a noise coming from the living room. He grabbed the flashlight and went downstairs, finding the figure outside the window. It was the same one he had seen on the sidewalk weeks before, but now it was closer. Lucas didn't wait to find out more. He grabbed his things and ran to the car. Finally managing to leave the house, he felt a momentary sense of relief. But the terror was far from over. In his new apartment, Lucas began to hear the same noises. The nights were interrupted by familiar whispers, and all the windows insisted on opening on their own. He realized he hadn't left the house behind. Something had followed him. Want to know more about this story and many others we still have to share? Then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Every day, a new story comes straight from our mysterious archive, filled with tales and accounts we've gathered from various sources. Cases with stories that will give you chills. Also, don't forget to share this video with that friend of yours who loves a good mystery.